What do you want to be when you grow up? As each girl stood and presented, it was surreal how much our futures had aligned. We'd all chosen the same thing. Teacher. Because our teacher was a woman, our classroom was our world, and no one had told us there was a whole universe left to explore.
I noticed that there were less girls, and it began with like half and half, and then as the years went on, there were less girls. Sometimes I would be the only girl there.
My classes would have like 50 to 100 people, and there would be like less than 10 girls in all those classes. And I joined another project. There were no girls on the project. I was the only girl for the entire 2 years that I was in charge of it. You know, it's a little intimidating.
We aren't used to seeing girls in STEM, which makes us kind of fear that we're gonna not succeed.
You get interested in what you're exposed to. The people you know, the role models around you are in science and technology. That's what you know. That's what you become familiar with.
There's a tendency for girls to shy away from physics or engineering or computer science at their schools.
I noticed that when I went to school, there were very few women then. And when I first came to JPL, there were very few women.
I stare up at a wall of imprinted hands, each identical in shape, hoping one day to put my own up there. But as the years went on, my hand grew differently, smaller palm, thinner fingers. So when the time came, I stuffed my hands back into my pocket.
Not a day goes by that I don't have doubts.
I doubt myself every single day.
Doubting myself was a big part of my journey.
I have doubted myself because of the environment around me. It's still like that. Even though it's better than the past, there's still a struggle.
People call it imposter syndrome, where you think that everybody around you knows more than you do and that you're somehow woefully inadequate.
You don't really belong, or you're not good enough.
No, you can't do that. You're a girl, or you're not smart enough, or you're not technical enough.
If you look around, the people that have imposter syndrome are very often people that don't match society's picture. Probably not white, probably not male.
That feeling's going to be there. I think the thing is to just know that that's not necessarily the reality.
And we have very strong women in our field, in the STEM fields. A lot of times a woman does the job much better, I've seen.
I was a lawn stemming from the earth. I caught dewdrops. Dandelions sprouted from the brightest places. And yet, with every growth, you mowed me down. Back and forth, it was a daily habit. You didn't know it hurt, that with every whir of the motor, tease, touch, and disregard, I wanted to scream. You thought you were helping because you thought I'd be more beautiful, cut and pristine to your liking.
I find that people sometimes don't take me seriously. I don't know if it's because I'm a girl, but I assume that because I see other people getting taken super seriously and they're all men.
Well, my daughter was a math major as an undergrad. And every time she told someone that she's majoring in math, they would say, "Oh, are you going to be a teacher?"
Some man came up to me and he said, "Oh, can you make photocopies of these papers?" And I looked at him and I said, "Well, that's strange. Why is he asking me?" Because he thought I think was a administrative aide or a secretary. Then I looked around and said, I can see why he thinks that, because just about everybody here is a male, and there was only a few people around who were female, and they happen to be administrative aides or secretaries.
And they don't ask outright, like, "Are you sure you can do this?" because you're a girl. But they'll ask in like roundabout ways, or they'll, have different expectations for you, and that shows in the way they ask you questions or the way that they talk to you.
Even though they didn't say anything bad towards me, but kind of like them pushing themselves away from me. You can tell.
Women are expected to get these opportunities and push through so much, and take on the personal burden of so much to just show that they deserve it, whereas their male counterparts are just assumed to deserve the same thing.
When I heard the atmosphere could be broken, that it was possible to find myself among the stars, I found my rocket ship.
I had always loved space science. Ever since I was a kid, I would cut out newspaper articles about JPL and its missions. At that time, it was Voyager, it was in the news all the time. And the pictures they were sending back from Saturn and Jupiter, I just thought this was fantastic.
Math is just a subject I've always loved. Solving a challenging problem, the feeling after, it's just it just gets me excited to do math.
With coding, you could do anything make websites, make games, make apps, and it's pretty cool how you could do a lot of things with coding.
One of the reasons I'm a mentor is because I think that there's a lot of ways we help women, to help girls of the future. Giving them an opportunity to learn in a safe environment. It doesn't matter if you're a girl or there's only a few girls in your class that are doing these things. If you want to do it, you can do it.
I was a runner, jumped over hurdles, tore through the wind, round and round the track. No finish line in sight. I was on my last breath, but my coach, she handed me a balloon and taught me how to fly.
There is more of an interest now in STEM. You have to work really hard, ask good questions, do your homework. You just have to dive in.
If you understand the world around you, it makes everything so much more exciting.
Just do what you love and do what you're passionate about. Girls shouldn't be scared of doing something just of how it's been in the past.
You have to be self-affirmed.
We all know we are powerful.
Follow what interests you.
Just believe in yourself.
There's no reason that girls shouldn't be just as interested and just as good at it as boys.
We're all kind of pushing together.
It's okay if you want to do things differently than other people do it. You have to go try and do the things that you want.
Don't think about what anybody thinks.
If it really interests you, then you should go after it.
We should just continue fighting for where we belong.